continue. Now, up to now, what we saw is what will happen if there is no redundancy. Then, if there is redundancy, then what will happen? Now, let us see. Having a redundancy, how can we avoid loops? And that is where the spanning tree protocol comes into picture. Right? Okay. Switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. Now imagine that you had multiple paths. Right? Imagine a situation where you are talking not just about switch, going from we taking a vehicle, a car, and going from a path. Right? This path exists, right? But there is a policeman standing here, and he is saying no, no going this direction. What? No going this direction. So you will always have to take this path. Alright. Further, if this path breaks, then what will this policeman do? Okay, you don't have an alternate path, now you can take this path. We need something like this.
Yes.
So, what it really means is, previously, we didn't even have this path.
Yes.
So, could we take this path?
No.
There was no road. No road. So, could you even think about going? You had to anyway think about it. If this was broken, right? If this was broken, then you were cut.
Yes.
Now we are talking about a situation that this path exists, but you are not allowed to take it. This is not broken, it is good. But somehow somebody is standing there in the given direction. No, you are not supposed to take this. That path exists, please take that path. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So you are supposed to take that path. So what I am saying, is this a broken link? No. This is perfectly fine. But somehow the intelligence is given to this particular port on the switch. Right? That please do not allow any traffic to go this way. Please don't allow anything. Alright?
Yes.
Where is the intelligence? In this switch. Please do not allow any traffic to go out of this. Do not allow any traffic to go out of this. But you can go send the traffic that side. Further, now in the same, using the same protocol that we are going to study, what we are trying to achieve is, so what are we trying to achieve? This port somehow gets to learn that you are not supposed to send out any traffic. At the same time, with using the same protocol, using the mechanism, if something breaks out of here, this protocol, which we call spanning tree protocol, which we are going to study in whatever way, is going to do what? It is going to say, oh, this is broken, so I need to allow this port.
Okay.
Open this port. Now. Okay?
Yes.
So by doing this, what is happening? By doing this, right, when initially it is blocking this port, what is it doing? It is blocking this port.
Yes, sir.
So that's why even though the redundant path exists, is it being used? No.
No.
So any flooded frames can come inside?
No.
No frames can come inside. Can any flooded frames go outside this port? No. So the path exists, right? But they are not used.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Not used. But now when this breaks, this path was already there.
Yes.
Now that was blocked from sending anything or receiving anything is now said, okay, now you can be utilized, because only one path should exist. Right?
Yes.
You have made the connections, you have made everything is there. But logically in the switch, it says you are not supposed to use it. Clear about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of it after a small. So we just came to discussed, or in fact we discussed how, what will STP try to do for us.
Yes.
And if it is able to do what, like block a particular port, the loop is broken. Yes, the loop is broken because even though the redundant link exists, but one of the port will not forward or receive any frames.
Yes, sir.
Hence, you are cutting or breaking the loop.
Yes.
And because you are able to break the loop, there will not be any flooding on that part. So no replication of frames will happen.
Yes, sir.
No anti-clockwise and clockwise loops will happen.
Yes, sir.
And because this is not happening, no MAC move will happen. And no MAC move will happen, that's why no memory corruption will happen.
Yes, sir.
And on the similar lines, there will not be any broadcast terms also.
Yes, sir.
Right? So let's see how it happens. What is the intelligence? How it would work? Right? So one way would have been to tell on every switch that okay, this link exists, but I want to block this port. But had we done that thing, okay, and in the middle of the night when we are sleeping, somebody comes and cuts the wire, right? And at 1 in the night, and you wake up at 7 in the morning, then what do you find? Till for 6 hours that traffic was isolated. So you want a protocol that is run on all the switches. Via that, the 3 switches are intelligently sharing some information. And if anything goes wrong, they are by themselves self-sufficient to make a decision that something has changed in the topology and we need to recalculate or reconverge the topology.
Yes, sir.
Wherein the blocked port now needs to be open for accepting and transmitting frames. So the first thing, so what are we going to use for this? This is known as spanning tree protocol. STP, spanning tree protocol, and the short form for this is 802.1d. Remember that thing?
Yes,
The other
yes,
day we were doing the VLAN part, we were saying 802.1q, DOT 1q,
Thank you.
DOT 1d is for spanning tree.
That's okay, sir.
This might well be an interview question, fill in the blanks. The standard for VLANs is this 802.1q. Standard for STP is 1d. Or please select the right alternates. For STP, which one is 802.1d or 802.1q? So you have to select the right one. 1d STP. Switch 1. Switch 2. Switch 3. Switch 4. No switch 4. Loop exists.
Yes, sir.
Remember, what are we trying to do with this spanning tree protocol? We are not doing anything with the communication between the PCs. Are we doing anything with the communication with the PC?
No.
Right? The PC communication is still doing the same thing. What? It is with respect to the traffic, it is still doing the same thing. What? Either flooding, right? Flooding, filtering, forwarding, or learning. The switch will still behave.
Yes.
What the spanning tree is doing is breaking the links where the loop is happening. Understand? There is a difference.
Yes, sir.
The communication, other communication is still going to do the same thing. Now spanning tree is going to break one of the links and put down and hold, block it. Okay. So how does it do it? Okay. So every switch, first of all, now many of the terms coming here will be calling bridge, rather than switch, right? It will be calling bridge. Now spanning tree protocol was invented when the bridges were in place. What were in place? Bridges. And of course switches use the same topology, terminology. So instead of calling it switches, we still call bridges. Alright?
Yes.
Bridge. So don't get confused. Why is it called bridge and not switch? We are going to use the same term. switch and bridge. Right? So first and the most important thing is the bridge ID. Bridge ID. Every switch which is running spanning tree protocol, on which spanning tree is enabled. Running means on which spanning tree is enabled.
Yes, sir.
Right? We'll have a bridge ID.
Okay.
Now, how do you determine a bridge ID? Bridge ID is 8 bytes long. How many bytes?
8
bytes. How many bits? 64 bits.
64, yes.
Right? Now this 8 bytes is into two parts. Okay? Priority plus MAC address. Right?
Yes.
So what did I just say? A bridge ID is 8 bytes long. And further I said that bridge ID is broken into two parts. One is priority and the other is MAC address.
Yes.
That means, can you tell me how big would be the priority? We always know that MAC address has a fixed size.
Yes, 4 bytes.
So can you tell me what will be the size of the priority? Priority plus MAC address is equal to 8 bytes.
Yes. Sir, 4 for priority.
So how much is the priority?
4
How big is the MAC address?
6 bytes, 2 bytes for priority.
2 bytes for priority. Come on guys. Simple logic.
6
Bridge ID is 8 bytes. Bridge ID is they broke on two parts. Priority plus MAC address. MAC address we know is always 6 bytes. Priority has to be 2 bytes. Right? 2 bytes. So 2 bytes equal to 16 bits.
16 bits.
That means how many possible values?
2 to the power 6.
Yes.
2 to the power 16. That will give you
35. 305.
Can you calculate it?
Yes, sir.
You have a calculator? You can calculate that. Using that. 9 plus 32768 times 2. What happened? 2 to the power 8 is how much? 256.
Yes. 2 to the power 10 is 1024.
2 to the power 8 is 256. Can you just do 256 into 256?
256 into 256.
65536.
65536. What did I make mistake here? 2 times 6. 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, 65536. Is the value,
Yes.
right? From 16 bits.
16 bits.
Okay. Further we say is, so what did we get from this?
6.
Total values? Right? 0 included. Where do you start from?
Yes.
0, right?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
So half of this value is what? 32768. So let me recap. Right? Every bridge, every switch that is running STP spanning tree protocol has a bridge ID.
Yes, sir.
Bridge ID is 8 bytes long.
Yes.
Right? Bridge ID consists of two parts, priority and MAC address. We know that the MAC address is of 6 bytes, so the priority is of 2 bytes. 2 bytes means 16 bits.
16 bits.
16 bits means 2 to the power 16. 65536.
Yes.
Right? Half of that is 32768.
Okay.
By default, every bridge, every switch will have a default priority. That will be 32768.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So the bridge ID becomes
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes.
32768. Now 32768 is represented in how many bits? 16 bits. Yes.
2 bytes.
2 bytes.
2 bytes.
And MAC address is the unique MAC address of the switch.
Yes, sir.
Not any interface address. By the way, when we are talking about the switch, does any of the interface has a MAC address?
No.
No, sir. Interface does not have address.
For now, we'll say it doesn't have.
Yes.
For now, we say the switch does not have a MAC address for the ports.
Yes, sir.
But we are saying okay, it has a brain in it, switch or some backplane, something like that, which has a MAC address. So switch 1 has a MAC address what? Hey, remember this is not PC1's MAC address. This is switch's MAC address. This is switch 2's MAC address. This is switch 3's MAC address. Okay,
Yes.
alright.
Yes.
So what is the bridge ID for switch 1?
Yes, sir.
What is the bridge ID for switch 3?
3278 plus 60.
Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So the first thing we learned is that every switch running STP will have a bridge ID. How long? How long is the bridge ID?
8 bytes.
What are the two different parts?
Priority MAC address.
How big is the priority?
2 bytes.
2 bytes.
How big is the MAC address?
6 bytes.
Right. What is the 2 bytes give you how many bits?
4 bits. 2 bytes.
2 bytes. 16 bits.
16 bits.
Using 16 bits, how many values do you get?
65536.
Right. Half of that is
32768.
that is the default priority.
Yes.
So that way, having known the MAC address, having known the MAC address and having known the priority, you can determine the bridge
Bridge
ID.
ID.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on. Of course, we are going to build some things just as we have built in the previous cases. We gradually build up things, right? So we will start from the scratch, right? Now, whenever a switch 1 comes up, boots up, right, powered on, and it is running, it is in that is the spanning tree is running, right? This switch comes up, switch 2 comes up. Let us remove this one now. Okay? Let's just remove this one. Switch 1 and switch 2 are working. Right? Now what happens in this case is switch 1 comes up. What is switch 1 running? Spanning tree. Switch 2 comes up. What is it running? Spanning tree. They will exchange something which is known as BPDO. What? Okay. Again, I guess you guys are a little bit familiar with this term. If you are not, no worries. Okay. B stands for bridge. Bridge protocol data unit. Bridge PDU. You can call it bridge PDU. Now B is very easy to remember. Bridge. We are talking about spanning tree. Everything has to do with bridge. Just like initially I said, we will be talking about more on bridge rather than switch.
Yes.
Right? Bridge protocol data unit. Right? So when the switch comes up, they exchange their BPDUs. They generate BPDUs What do? They generate BPDUs,
Yes, sir.
right? And when they generate, they send it out on all their active ports. What do? They send it out. They generate and send it out.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is in the BPDU? We are going to gradually, not generally, we are going to gradually increase step by step. I am not going to give you the entire BPDU at the initial part only. We will gradually learn and increase. So, let's say BPDU consists of many fields. Consists of many fields. But out of that many fields, we are just going to talk about initially bridge ID. We are just going to call a bridge ID. So this is the BPDU, let's say. And in this, what is this? Bridge ID. Okay. What is it? Bridge ID. Now, which one has a bridge ID? What is it?
32768.
Plus A. This has its own bridge ID.
32768 plus B. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. This is going to generate BPDU.
Yes, sir.
And how many active ports does it have as of now? One. So it is going to send out a BPDU here.
Yes, sir.
Now in that BPDU, what is there? The bridge ID.
Bridge ID.
Similarly, this is going to generate and send it out here.
Yes, sir.
What? BPDU.
BPDU.
Having its bridge ID.
Yes, sir.
Right? There are many things, but we are not concerned about these as of now. We are just focusing on the bridge ID. Alright?
Yes.
Now, when, let us say, this is this one. When this reaches here, on what port will it receive? Here. Right?
Yes, sir.
And when this reaches here, on what port will it receive? Here.
Yes.
Let's take this case, in this case. What will it do? What will it do? It will compare what the receiving BPDUs. What will it compare?
Receiving
BPDUs bridge ID.
Bridge ID.
Right? Receiving BPDUs bridge ID. With the bridge ID that it sent.
Yes, sir.
So what is it receiving here?
32768 plus B.
And what is it sending? This
32768 plus A.
out of this port.
Yes, sir.
Right? So it will compare with that. Similarly, what will this do? Same thing.
Yes.
What is it receiving? This.
Yes, sir.
What is it sending? This. Right?
Yes.
So when this compares, right, what are they trying to see? Whose bridge ID is better? By comparison, what are they trying to determine? Whose bridge ID is better? Now, what is the statement? Which one is better? So here, the lower the bridge ID, the better it is. The lower the bridge ID, the better it is. Now, how do you determine which one is lower? How do you determine which one is lower? So here is the case, right? First they check, compare the priorities. What do they compare? Priorities. What are the priorities? 32768 for both,
Yes.
right? Okay, 32768 for both. So there, you cannot match. They are both equal, so that they cannot break the tie. Then they compare the MAC address.
Yes.
Whoever is less, or let me start over again. When they receive the BPDU, they compare the received BPDU's bridge ID with its own bridge ID.
Yes, sir.
Whoever bridge ID is lower, they are happy, right? Is better. Okay, whoever bridge ID is lower is considered better. So first criteria for that is lower priority.
Yes.
Okay, 32768 and 32768 both are equal, right? None of them are lower. Then you move the tie breaking to the MAC address. Whose is lower, A or B? A, because B comes after A. Which is lower, 1 or 2?
1.
1, right? Similarly, A is considered lower than B.
Okay.
Again remember, right? Hexadecimal A is what? 10. Hexadecimal B is what? 11. So which one is lower? 10. A is lower.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Right? In that case, so who's got a better bridge ID?
8.
Which one?
Which one?
Right? Because it has a lower MAC address.
Yes, sir.
Alright?
Yes.
So that's why it has a better bridge ID.
Bridge ID.
Now what results to it? We'll come back to it in a bit. But let's take another example.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right? Suppose the value of this was, suppose we are just taking a detour, which means we are just shifting for a second. Suppose the value for this priority was understand?
Yes, sir.
I have changed the priority in this one. So what is it sending? 767. And what is it sending? Into 768 plus 8.
Yes, sir.
So what do? We check compare. Here also and here also.
Yes, sir.
Which one is better? Now let's compare this with this.
Yes.
First thing, what do we compare? The priority. Whose priority is lower?
Yes, sir.
Whose priority is lower?
Switch 2.
Switch 2's priority is low. So tie is broken here itself.
Yes.
So we don't even go to the MAC address for this.
Okay.
Okay.
So whose bridge ID is better now?
Switch 2.
Switch 2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's take another example. In fact, let's go back to this. What is this? So have a look at this. Even though the MAC address is lower, right? But because the priority was higher,
Yes, sir.
this one gets to be the better one.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We are not even going to look at the MAC address. First, we are going to look at the priority. Clear?
Yes.
Alright. Alright. In the same way, let's see. Default priority. Which is better?
Switch 2.
Switch 2.
Still better because priority is
Good.
lower.
Only slower. Yes. And
Other one is not
then-
bad. Huh? Okay, so let's go back to this. Move on. 32768. In this case, what is the tiebreaker? The lower MAC address.
Yes, sir.
Whose MAC address is lower?
Switch 1.
Switch 1.
The choose MAC address is lower. Okay. Let me quickly do this. Switch 2. Who's better now?
Switch
Switch
2.
2.
Is better now?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because the priority is
Same. And the MAC address whose is less?
Sir, switch
Switch
2.
2.
Switch 2 is MAC address list. So don't get confused. The switch 1 is always going to be A and switch 2 is going to be B. Right?
Yes,
So you have to look at both the points.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back here. This is A, sending A, this is B. This belongs to it, this one. So now, what did he say? Whenever a switch comes up, they send BPDUs. Right? What do they say? BPDUs. And in the BPDUs, they send a
Bridge ID.
bridge ID. Now we are going to change that term. Right? Remember we said this thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay? This thing. So we are going to change this. We are going to call it something else. What do we call it? Root bridge ID. Right? What do we call it? Root bridge ID. Now let us put it in this way. When I come up, am I aware of my surroundings? No. I will consider myself as the root.
Okay.
Okay.
Right? When you come up, are you aware of your surroundings?
No.
No. until you are given something or you exchange some message. You are not aware. So what you will send inherently, the first message, you will consider yourself to be root.
Yes, sir.
So what is going inside this? This is the name of the field in the BPDU. What is this? Bridge Protocol Data Unit. The first field in this is root bridge ID. In this root bridge ID, what are you putting? Your own ID. Calling, thinking, I am the root. But inherently, what are you sending? Your own bridge ID in it.
Yes, sir.
Considering, saying, declaring, I am the root. Okay. Similarly, so this is done by switch 1. Similarly, this is done by switch 2.
Yes, sir.
Both send their own bridge ID in the root bridge ID field.
Yes, sir.
And now we have already seen when this receives the BPDU, it will check whose root bridge ID is better. That I am sending or the other one is sending. Right? It will compare.
Yes, sir.
And whatever it will check, then according to it will decide whether I am the root or you are the root.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
Alright. It will check whether I am the root. If my root bridge ID is better, what I am sending is better than what I am receiving, then I am the root.
Okay.
But in case my root bridge ID that I am sending is not better than what I am receiving, then I am not the root. The other person is the root.
Yes, sir.
In this case, who will become the root bridge ID? Who will become the root?
Switch one.
Switch.
So again, when switch 1 came up, it said I am the root.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What am I?
And the root.
I am the root and I am the root bridge. What am I? I am the root and I am the root bridge. So I am going to put my bridge ID and send it.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
It is still not aware who else exists. Right? Similarly, switch 2 when it comes and says I am the root, and I will put my bridge ID in the root bridge ID field and send it. But when they exchange, they say, oh, somebody is better.
Yes, sir.
Right? Switch 2 says what? When it receives the BPDU from switch 1, it says, oh, I am not the root bridge. I am not the root bridge. Who's the root bridge?
Sir, it is 32767.
Sorry, my bad. 32768. Okay? Priority is being changed.
Yes.
So in this case, switch 2 will realize that who's the root bridge?
Switch one.
Why? Because it knows what it is sending and it knows what it is receiving.
Yes, sir.
So it knows that it is not the root bridge. And who the root bridge is? Switch 1. Similarly, switch 1 knows that it is the root bridge. Why? Because it knows what it is sending and it knows what it is receiving is inferior than what it was sending.
Yes.
Okay? This way, we have now elected the root bridge. What have we elected? The root bridge between two boxes.
Yes.
Great. Further, let's get to the second term in here. What the second term here in the BPDU? In the second term. First term, what did you learn?
Root bridge ID.
So what have we learned till now? What is the term? What are the things that we have learned till now? First thing is something known as BPDU, Bridge Protocol Data Unit. BPDU. Every switch that is running spanning tree will generate a BPDU
Video.
and send it out on all its active ports. Right? On all its active ports. Initially, what? Initially, every switch will consider itself to be the root bridge, and hence it will put its own ID in the root bridge ID field of the BPDU
Video.
and send it. Right?
Yes, sir.
But after it has exchanged the message, it may still remain root bridge or it may consider the other person to be the root bridge.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.